Greetings, beautiful eagle galactic spirits, soaring into the unknown, flying high, experiencing broad views like you've never seen before, as well as having eagle-eyed laser focus. That's what we're going to talk about in this magnificent 13-day adventure into your eagle birthright. And remember, every single birthright is a fractal of wholeness. It is part of you. So every time we meet like this and we adventure into one of these energies together, we want to really be able to absorb this energy, to have it on demand. So whenever we're in a situation and we need eagle energy, we need to look at things from a different perspective, look at it from a broad view as well as a detailed view. We'll be able to call on the eagle energy by bringing in the image of the eagle into our consciousness, and that way we will have that birthright and command it on demand. I just gave you a big secret of how all of the birthrights work at a moment's notice, so you'll have them on call. Remember, every time we experience one of our birthrights, we deepen our relationship of wholeness. And just like the galactic universe is always expanding, just because we've experienced it once, the next time we experience it, we are going to experience based upon your synchronicities and the experience that you have on each of the daily birthrights. You are going to see a different multidimensionality and greater scope of what each birthright has to offer. It's so exciting. It is my favorite thing about working with Galactic Spirit, because we are always learning something new through our birthrights about ourselves. And you know the secret with an eagle view: to know thyself. And that is our objective, and to know what our fifth dimensional consciousness is evolving into. And to trust what that energy is as we adventure beyond our third dimensional reality. So what we're going to do today, we're just going to do a quick briefing on where we are with the energy as far as all the charts go. So that way we know where we've been, know where we're going, know how each of the birthrights are building upon each other, and how you can best use them. So let's go ahead and do that. We are, as a reminder, there are 5 castles, or 5 blocks of 52 days. These each have their own energies, and we are cycling around these 52 days, making up our 200 and, let me get the glare off that, 260 birthrights. We talked about the consciousness map last time with the wind, and we're going to talk about it coming up with the star next cycle, so you can refer back to that energy. But for now, of the 52 blocks of time, we have in the green castle, we have which is all about universal wholeness. Universe. Your verse, your song of you is coming into wholeness. And then after we finish star next time, we will begin again, ever deepening our spiral of ascension into the fifth dimension, knowing ourselves better and better. Not only will it relate to your material world, having greater success on all multidimensional levels, success in your business or your job, which you love doing every day, and your expression to the outside world, your offerings to humanity, maybe even doing soccer camp with your kids after school, as well as evolving your relationships and your inner relationship with your cosmic consciousness. So we're spinning on this beautiful radial wheel. Right now we are in Eagle, part of the Green Castle. And the Green Castle not only is about your universe, your expression of your verse in the multiverse, it is also about your infinite ability to expand into consciousness. And last cycle, we talked about wind, the 13-day adventure into wind, which was understanding your spiritual breath and you being a catalyst for two-way communication with the divine matrix, with the universal galactic spirit, because you are, with your galactic spirit, you're the connecting bridge to that, as well as telepathic communication with others and making conscious choices about when you make decisions about maybe calling someone or using your expanding your intuition, expanding messages, having your your inner knowing, know the choices that you were making. Remember, everybody, this is Galactic Spirit is all about free will. It's about making choices. Do you want to respond to certain situations or react to them? That is a huge big deal of that. And specifically reacting or staying trapped in your mental monkey mind, repeating the same thoughts and patterns as you did, the same actions that you always did, having the same emotions that you always did, or in our three-dimensional world, or are we going to step beyond and into the unknown and really start expanding our consciousness and that connection to our fifth dimensional galactic spirit? And we talked a lot about that last week, last 13-day cycle, and now we are into Eagle, and we are going to start moving through the 13 days of Eagle. Do you see that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have a series of videos called the progressions, where you've got day number 1 of Eagle, day number 2 of Eagle, day number 3 of Eagle. As a reminder, we are moving up this spiral of transformation. So as a reminder, on the first day of Eagle, we say, how are we not seeing the unseen? What do we want to see? How do we want to have a broader picture of things? How do we want to fly high? How do we want to rise above certain circumstances? How do we want to explore different notions of experiences within ourselves? So that is the questions we start asking ourselves. And as we move through day 2, day 3, day 4, and so on, that is when we start moving up this ascension spiral of 13 days. So as we spiral up the 13 days, circle round the 13 days, we are deepening our abilities to fly high and to start seeing the unseen in ways that we've never seen it before, with different perspectives, different visions, different views about things. In order to make a decision about almost anything, how do you weigh the situation? But you can't weigh the situation unless you're able to see all the different views and all the different aspects of it. And as an enlightened being, the trickle down effect and the influence it's not only going to have on your consciousness, but the consciousness on everybody around you, as well as global consciousness. And that's what we're doing with Eagle. And as a reminder, I wasn't going to do this, but I think I am. When we're talking, because it makes perfect sense to do it, we were talking about the global map of consciousness, and each one of these repeats the 13. So the 13 on a 13-day cycle, and a 13 channels in a 260-day cycle, and we are in the 12th column. It doesn't really matter if it's 12 column or 12 row or 12 days. The 12th energy is all the same. It is all about expressing your communication with the world, universalizing what you have internalized. It's sharing your light, sharing your beam with others. So as you think in terms of these broader views that we're exploring during this cycle, how are you going to think about the broader view from all different perspectives of that trickle down influence, not only on a personal level, but on a familiar level, but also on a global level. I don't know why, I'm just reminded about David Hawking's work, Dr. David Hawking's, not Stephen Hawking, who was a brilliant quantum physicist and brilliant in his own right, but I love David Hawking's because he says something so valuable in his book and his work, his book and his work called Power versus Force. And he talks about how the ripple effect of me, or the ripple effect of you, we're talking about you here really, but it all starts with me the same way it all starts with you. The ripple effect of us in the world and exploring our own consciousness is radiating a certain frequency at a certain vibration, and the more we evolve our galactic birthrights, the higher we are going to raise our frequency and expand our consciousness for personal and global perspectives. And Dr. Hawking says that if I am radiating at a higher frequency than I did yesterday, or because I'm learning, because I'm evolving, then I influence just based upon my frequency that radiates into the quantum field. It influences the world on a more positive in a more positive way. So as we are adventuring in the Eagle cycle, expanding our views, one of the views that we can expand our consciousness is the influence of how we are beaming our light with others. Oh, just breathe into that for a second. You know, for me, yes, of course, I love the personal benefits of galactic spirit. I love the fact that I can see with a broader view and I don't think with limitation. Keep in mind, we always get stuck sometimes, so there's no perfection, there's only progress. But if we're thinking in terms of broader views, we're thinking on terms of global expansion. And when you think about how the indigenous prophecy was talking about how our planet and our consciousness is going on an evolutionary shift, the fact that it's benefiting you personally within different frequencies. I need something to drink, be right back. If you haven't noticed, I forget to breathe too. I get so excited sharing my passion, serpents, because I am the catalyst of quickening. That's my innate birthright. So I get all excited and I forget to breathe because I'm so excited about sharing these concepts with you. But I always come back, no worries. So as we are in the 12th channel in our evolving consciousness map during this 260-day cycle, as we are experiencing greater manifestation on our multidimensional worlds and the ability to create whatever it is we want to create in our lives by the power of our thoughts and our elevated emotions, to really be able to see into our future with broader views and all of the other birthrights that we are journeying through together. Our manifestation abilities on a personal level will unfold in the perfect place, in the perfect time, in perfect synchronicity. But at the same time, as we start beaming our light, especially during this time of the 12th channel, we are radiating that power, not force. We're not forcing it. We are radiating those power beams out into the planet, globally shifting our planetary consciousness for a global evolution. And you just have to trust that, some will, some won't. We're not, the only mission that we're on is a personal mission to enhance our own galactic spirit. And through that, one person at a time, just by our radiance, our radiance, our crystallizing forces within us, we are able to share that influence with others. One reminder before we get into the specific of eagle and exploring your different ways to see with different views and to inspire your imagination, I just want to remind you how this cycle works. With day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, either circularly, this is just one way to communicate it, this is another way to communicate it, and here is another way to communicate it that I just want to remind you of. We haven't done it in a few cycles, and I want to remind you of that. Every day is a different birthright. One of the 260 within the castle, within, as in our case right now, within the cycle of 13 eagle. Something just fell. I don't know what I do. Oh, I lost some of my details. What I was going to show you was so slippery that they fell out of my hands, so I might be out of order with you. But on Galactic Spirit, there is an overview of every single cycle. I'm out of order. Be patient. This is stream of consciousness. I am not editing these. So I'm put back together. So what I wanted to remind you of, so every cycle of 13, because I don't know when you're coming in and when you're not, even though that eagle and the energy of eagle is of the next 13 days, I like to call it an adventure. I like to call it the house of eagle, because we've got the eagle within the castle. So these are all houses within the 52-day castle, but within every house, the 13-day adventure of eagle, for example, right now, of those 13 days, each day is a micro of eagle. And every video on the 260 videos that I offer for you explains the energy of the day within the 13-day adventure, for example. Now, hopefully these don't slip and slide again. I see the eagle on the screen, so I only have to use one handful of stuff. Upside down. Day number 1 is always the eagle of the eagle. So in next 13-day adventure, day number 1 would be the star of the star. So it's always its energy doubled to give it extra power, to start the momentum, to say to you on day number 1, how do I magnetize my potential of whatever cycle we are in? So here we're magnetizing. Here we're we're overcoming duality. 3, we're electrifying. 4, we're combining our electromagnetic bodies. You see how this is working and moving upward into our evolution of each 13-day cycle, and in this case we are evolving our perceptions, seeing unlimited views that we never saw before. So the nuance of day number 1, it's eagle within eagle, so it's your energy doubled. The second day of eagle, it's asking us to look at our warrior within eagle. So not only did I mentioned this 2 seconds ago, not only are we looking at the duality, but we're having, how can we take warrior, courage and determination to overcome the duality of, do we really want to see with an eagle's view? Do we want to, how do we see, what's the duality of seeing the broad view and the bird's eye microscopic view? Well, if you have unlimited views, you have them all. That's the way you use warrior with courageous determination to overcome that duality. So every cycle, now I hope I'm not complicating you here, but just if you don't understand what I'm talking about, it's okay. File it away, you will get it. Watch the videos every day with the nuance of the day and you will get it, I promise. There's macro and micro. Daily energies within the 13-day cycle, and this series of videos is really talking about what each of those 13-day cycles are about and educating you on how the system works. Is what this is about. So day number 2 is warrior within eagle. Day number 3 is serpent within eagle. That's a jack. No. Day number 3. Oh my goodness, I am out of order here. Day number 3. Hang on, let me tell you this way. Day number 3 is I don't have the card for you. It's slipped out and it's hiding somewhere. But day number 3 in Eagle is all about synchronicity, looking at the synchronicities of looking that day at different perspectives, seeing how your creative imagination is going to be influenced by seeing a broader view, a larger spectrum, as well as inner perceptions or the nuances from a bird's eye view. I want to continue here, and the 4th day, I'm just showing you I'm back on track, I think, I don't know. The 5th day, moving up the spiral of ascension with seeing eagle, is reflecting. How are you reflecting your electromagnetic self, which is day number 4, in reflection of unlimited views? Or are you not reflecting it out into the world and you're just staying very limited? Or are you reflecting how others might have limited reviews, and how are you overcoming that? I just slipped and slided all over the place. All the cards are everywhere, but I'm hoping you're seeing that every single day is a nuance of seeing the unseen and looking at it, looking at Eagle from multi-dimensional perspectives. And if you think this is complicated, it's not. Because as you start learning what each of these 20 energies mean, when you see one within the other, they combine with each in each other, giving you multi-dimensional resources. That's what it is. It's a multi-dimensional resource of evolutionary consciousness. Wow, that was a head full, wasn't it? And a big slip and slide. So let's like tap into eagles. We've already talked about it a lot. What eagle does, so think, if you were an eagle, think about how you're soaring above the clouds. This is a way to look at all of your birthrights. Look at them through your own intuitive perspective. And we talked about intuition last cycle being a clear channel in order to see our spiritual connection, right? That's what wind was all about. So as you're using your intuition to feel about what these energies feel like, see yourself as an eagle soaring above the clouds, looking down at the earth, seeing the horizon and the expansion of where you can go. As an eagle, as a magical eagle, you can also visualize the ever-expanding galaxy, can't you? You know how every time we talk about grounding your feet to the crystalline core of Mother Earth, and we talk about how we can expand into the ever-expanding universe, not ever getting to the edge because there is no edge. And if you're soaring high like an eagle, you can keep on flying high and high and higher and higher. So when you are tapping into whatever birthrights you want to, the command on demand like we talked about before, you can soar above any limitation because you're rising above it. You're flying above it. That's one way to look at eagle. Another way is to look on the horizon. Where are you going? There's so much possibility out there that you can fly, you can soar as far as your eagle eyes can see. You don't have to be limited by any third dimensional construct. It's fake anyway, because situations of the past created it in your memory. Your memory is not fifth dimensional. Your memory is old cellular dogma that the reason why we are transcending into fifth dimensional and spiritual consciousness is to transcend all of that and see beyond the horizon of what we thought that we knew. And we talked about this a few cycles ago, and you can tap into it whenever you want. And that's the nuance, that's the birthright of surrendering to our limited thinking. And we surrender to our limited thinking not only using our spiritual voice and our divine breath with the energy of wind, but we're also surrendering with World Bridger. World Bridger is a very powerful birthright because World Bridger is like almost like a death. You know, we can let go of what no longer serves us. Old karma saying, let's get rid of it in our consciousness so we can soar high. See how all of these birthrights are so valuable within each other. So let's go back to our visualization. We are this beautiful bird soaring in our multidimensional consciousness, and we, again, through free will, can make a choice. When we look down, when we look beyond, when we expand our vision into the unseen, we can visualize the clearest, widest path. We might not know the steps on the path to get to whatever it is that we want to create and manifest. We don't know the steps. But we know that there's no bumps in the road or some obstacles. We can see that in our mind's eye. And when there are obstacles, we can go back up into the heavens and say, no, those obstacles don't exist, so they can fall away. That is eagle. Or if you don't choose to do that, this is the old way of thinking. You can slog through the mud to get to where you're going with lots of obstacles, with lots of twists and turns, with a lot of bumps in the road, and a lot of skinned knees, and a lot of hardship and a lot of suffering. As a being of light, we don't have to suffer. So we can use our perceptions to create the vision of our future as this beautiful, shining path. As wide as the eye can see from left and right and into our future. We don't have to look behind. It's old news. Because looking behind puts our minds and our emotions in a state where we've come from. Of course, we're going to rely on our experience. I'm not saying to diminish it at all. But I'm saying to release the suffering from those memories. Eagle inspires imagination. That's what we did. We used our imagination to soar above the clouds. And it's our free choice. And eagle is as all of our birthrights, we can take their creative and infinite abilities as far as our eyes can see, soaring with the eyes of an eagle. There is no limitation. There are perceptions. And is your perception of false ego? Or you can use your free choice and say, I am willing to surrender all of those limitations using the birthrights that we just mentioned, World Bridger as well as wind in this cycle, in this castle. The green castle of exploring our universe, our infinite connection to our cosmic consciousness with this unlimited view. Yeah, that's where I want to go. Releasing all that doesn't serve. Expanding our perceptions into the unknown. Because the unknown is what the fifth dimension is ever expanding and what Galactic Spirit is going to teach us. Personally, manifesting our desires in a familiar circle, personally radiating our beam with those who we come in contact with, and with the power of our connection to the universal bridge quantumly, we are helping to evolve consciousness. From my heart to yours, from my galactic spirit to yours, from my galactic spirit and your galactic spirit into the universal galactic spirit. Namaste. In Lakesh.